Howdy, gang, and welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host here at the Gaming Gang channel. Welcome once again. Thanks for joining me. Today, I am going to take a first look and page through Jewel of the Indigo Isles for 2nd edition Pathfinder from Roll for Combat. This is written by Stephen Glicker, Ron Lundeen, Patrick Renee, Mark Siefter, and Linda Zayas Palmer. And I apologize if I've mispronounced any of those names. This 420-page hardcover with PDF carries an MSRP of $79.99, or you can grab just the PDF alone for $49.99. All that said, let's swing on over to the other camera, because here I've got Jewel of the Indigo Isles. Few things to mention before we get stuck in. First of all, my friends over at Roll for Combat were kind enough to provide me with this review copy, but neither I nor anyone else affiliated with the Gaming Gang has received any other sort of compensation for me to share this coverage with you. These days, very important you know that. We're also not going to look at each and every one of the 420 pages in Jewel of the Indigo Isles, but I do want to give you a good feel for what you're going to find inside this book. Lastly, this is an adventure campaign, so if you are a player and you're hoping your game master is going to pick up Jewel of the Indigo Isles, or maybe they already have and just haven't started running it yet, by all means, I definitely recommend tune out now. Even though I really know pretty much absolutely nothing about this adventure, there are going to be some spoilers as we page on through. You don't want surprises of the adventure ruined simply because you are watching this video. Now, of course, if your game master is thinking of picking this up, by all means, let them know about this video so that way they can approach Jewel of the Indigo Isles and make a more informed buying decision. All right, so let's take a look at the back here. Set sail for adventure. Mysteries abound in the pirate town of Rumplank, but none are as well known as the legend of Poppy von Barnacle's lost treasure. A band of up-and-coming heroes chosen by the royal family must reunite a magical map and follow the clues to find the lost treasure once and for all. But all is not as it seems, and somewhere, a deep evil from Rumplank's ancient past stirs. Explore, voyage, battle, and triumph in the legendary Jewel of the Indigo Isles adventure path for Pathfinder 2nd edition. This complete campaign takes heroes from 1st to 11th level. All right, so let's jump on in. It's kind of cool. We get this splash here of the map. So there's Rumplank, different isles. And we've got our credits here. So we've got quite a lot of artists. Let's make sure we give these folks credit. I'm not going to read all their names because I would be here for a while and I would probably mispronounce the vast majority of them because I'm good at that. So here's Gold Crop Isle. This is where Rumplank is located. I will tell you right off the bat, paper stock is really nice. This is premium paper stock for a role-playing game book. Very impressed. So we've got our contents. So we've got search for the missing map, voyage to Runaway Reef, battle at Barnacle Bay. That looks like we might have some gazetteer information. Then we got our adventure toolbox. So the layout of this is very similar to what we see in the Pathfinder 2nd edition adventures from Paizo Inc. It's talking about using the campaign, the adventure hook. The adventure path assumes that the royal family of Rumplank, the Red Feathers, would be able to entice the characters to accept a mission to piece together an ancient treasure map and locate a legendary treasure, with the adventure meeting the Red Feathers to explain the quest to the characters. Ultimately, though, you know your players and your characters best, that is, other than the players themselves. So it's talking about other motivations, possibly. I have the feeling that this utilizes a lot of anthropomorphic animals or maybe animal hybrid type characters. So if that is something that you really enjoy, this is probably going to be right up your alley. If it's something that maybe isn't your bag of tricks, maybe this adventure might not be either. I don't know. It's just kind of the impression I've gotten from some of the artwork I've seen. So here we go. Campaign summary. Jewel of the Indigo Isles is an adventure path in 3 acts. The characters begin with a quest from the Red Feathers, the royal family of the city of Rumplank, to unite 2 halves of a magic map to discover a treasure left behind by the legendary pirate Poppy von Barnacle. But over the course of the adventure, they discover the truth behind Poppy's legacy, exploring several other islands in the archipelago and even a sunken temple. The characters find and unite 4 pieces of an ancient jewel, only to lose the jewel to the resurrected demon cult, spoilers, that Poppy had defeated long ago during a grand festival. After chasing down the cult and discovering their plan to conquer the Isles, the characters outrun the cult back to Rumplank. There they put up a desperate defense against the besieging forces before eventually dueling the Demon Lord's emissary atop the head of a mighty undead behemoth. Well, well, well. So chapters 1 through 4 are search for the missing map. So it looks like we get some adventure synopsises there as well. So edges of the map, this is our first adventure. So there is King Okiki Redfeather. Yep, like I said, kind of had a feeling we've got anthropomorphic animals here. Artwork is pretty impressive. Got to say that. And so are the maps. I would hope that the PDF is pretty high resolution in case you wanted to utilize it with a virtual tabletop. I do believe that this is available for Roll20, if memory serves. That is actually very cool. I like that quite a bit with the maps. Well, it looks like we've got 3 bookmarks. We certainly do. Get to those in a sec. So the various different chapters. There's our treasure map. The 2 halves assembled. Oh, it's Miss Piggy. I would take a guess. Now, remember, I just cracked this open. This is the first time I'm looking inside this. But I would have the impression that this might have a little lighter tone than some Pathfinder adventures might have, just simply because we've got the anthropomorphic animals or these hybrid animal characters. I'm not insinuating that this is a silly adventure by any stretch of the imagination, but there might be some lighter-hearted set pieces that take place during this adventure campaign. I gotta say, I am really impressed by the artwork. Oh, wow. There we go. It's a pretty cool map. And as I mentioned, we're really seeing kind of a very, very similar presentation than what we see from official Paizo releases. I mean, you'd be hard-pressed to tell the difference between this and an official Paizo adventure. So really nicely done as far as that goes. Just segue right on in, slip right on into this. If you are an established Pathfinder 2nd Edition game master. So here it looks like this is on to the 4th chapter, Legacy of the Gilded Pirate, I think it says. So here's the Indigo Isles. So there is the map that we saw when we opened the book. A lot of bird characters and big characters. I'm taking a wild guess that the player characters should probably also be playing as these hybrids. I would also guess that that is probably available in another supplement from Roll for Combat. But it really looks as if there is loads and loads of adventuring in this campaign. So we're at 160 pages, and all but maybe 10 of them to start off the book have all been the adventure, or I should say, the trio of adventures that combine to create the campaign. Here we got the Flesh Stitcher's Fortress. Got some pretty cool looking creatures and monsters. Now, I also get a copy of Strange and Unusual from Roll for Combat. I'll be taking a peek at that. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to have Sammy review this or I will have her review Strange and Unusual. That looks really cool. I really like that. It's really detailed. That's very nicely done. And I got to say, the print job on this really sharp. And as you can see, the colors really pop off the page here. Very impressive. I do understand that Roll for Combat does go the extra mile as far as their production quality. That is something that they're well known for. The skeletal cult dragon. So then we got a party and rum plank. I think all in all, we have a dozen chapters to this campaign. So we've got some new combat dueling rules. The Treasure Beach. The Crawling Caves. So it appears that it's possible that as this campaign progresses, maybe things become far more dire, far more serious, because it starts off where the player characters are looking to find the two pieces of the treasure map and then find the treasure. And then it appears that they learn that there's a demon who's looking to try to take over the Indigo Isles. And now we're at 284 and still in the adventure. Looks like we're in chapter 11. The Cult Complex. Is that the Parrot Ultraman or Spectre Man? Just saw a little spoiler there about a betrayal. I was like, oh, yeah, I'll just flip past that real quick. Right, so here's the finale, right? This is the climax. The battle for Barnacle Bay. I do want to try to stay spoiler free. That's why I'm not just sitting here reading synopses of each of the chapters. Just want to give you a good look inside this book. And I got to say, it appears that you're really getting your money's worth. Because now looks like we're just getting to the end of the adventure. And we're on page 340. So there you go, 341. So about 330 pages of this volume is the adventure. Okay, so then we get a bit of a gazetteer for roleplaying. Drunken revelers. Okay, so drunken birds. All right. I'm taking a guess we will also find a bestiary. So it looks like we're getting a pretty good in-depth gazetteer. And then looks like we've got some keyed locales in Rumplank, or maybe just on that island. So here's the brochure to Seaview. So that looks like that is another town, another settlement that the player characters are going to visit. Maybe this is where we've got those pig hybrids. And of course, we've got plenty of new magic items. So we've got some new feats. Flying pig stance, flying pig rush, new magic items. It looks like we've got some variants on some rules. Legend of Old Woody. There's Old Woody. I guess it's got random effects. So here we get into our bestiary. Now, I would be curious how many of the creatures and monsters that are in this adventure come from the Roll for Combat bestiaries that they've released. Curious about that. Now, there is a free PDF for a player's guide for Jewel of the Indigo Isles. And I would certainly recommend downloading that. It is available over on Drive-Thru RPG to kind of give you a feel, give your players a feel too, as far as what you're looking at with creating their characters for this adventure campaign. So here we've got monster parts, which I do believe are variant rules that are in one of the Roll for Combat supplements. So it's showing us the various different monster parts from the encounter monsters. And then we're going to wrap up with some ads. So there's Battle Zoo Eldamon, which is sort of a Pokemon-ish supplement there. Dragons, Year of Monsters, and Strange and Unusual. That is the book I was talking about that I have a copy of that I will be sharing a first look at in the very near future as well. Gotta say, just from flipping through this looks really impressive. Looks like it might be a pretty interesting adventure as well. So as I mentioned, there will be a review from the Gaming Gang for Jewel of the Indigo Isles in the future. Once again, this is available now. The 420-page hardcover with PDF carries an MSRP of $79.99. You can get just the PDF alone for $49.99. So the reality is, it is a far better deal, at least in my opinion, to pick up the hardcover. It's essentially $30 for this book, and you'll get the PDF as well in case you want to utilize this with a virtual tabletop or just bring it on the go without having to lug the hardcover around. All right. Excellent. Very nice. Like I said, I'm very impressed. Very curious about this as well. That is it for this time out. If you like the video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, don't forget, ring that bell. It will not only let you know when I share videos such as this first look, it'll also inform you when my live stream, the Gaming Gang Dispatch, airs Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evenings right here on YouTube at 7 p.m. Central. Of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all latest in tabletop gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more you aren't going to find here on the channel. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Thank you very much for watching. Once again, I'm Jeff McAleer. And until I see you next time, I hope all of you get to enjoy plenty of great gaming with your gang.